My name's Denis Griffin. I was born in West London, Shepherd's Bush, in 1950, and I went to school there, lived all my life in that area. Got married quite young. I've got 2 children, and I moved to Canada when I was 47. Children were kind of grown up a little bit. It was there that I was diagnosed with myeloma. I remember being with my friends in the football team. They were all English guys, you know, and I used to say, I said, you know, I feel really tired. And they say, shut up, Dennis, we're all tired. We're like 57 or something, you know, so no sympathy. But I was tired. My wife noted that I was tired, yes. I went to see my GP and he told me that I had myeloma, and quite a shock. I seem to remember him saying myeloma, and next minute I was out in the street with a sheet of paper with God knows what on it. Went back to the office, Googled a load of stuff that sort of frightened the hell out of me. Then I started to wonder how I was going to tell my wife. It wasn't a great experience looking around on Google, especially you're getting a lot of figures that are out of date. The numbers weren't as good then, so you were thinking, well, 2-3 years, there you go. One great bit of help I had after diagnosis and going through early treatment was joining a support group in Calgary. I thought for first perhaps it might be just people moaning and stuff like that, complaining, but we went along and it wasn't. It was, found it a great help, and my wife. The main thing was that you got information from other people who'd had the transplant or they'd had the treatment you had, and some good role models of people that had survived it for quite some years. Moving back to the UK was a big project in all sorts of ways, moving home, moving family. I got to thinking about a support group that I didn't have one, and I had one in Canada and it was useful. I thought, well, I'd like to start one, so I tried to start a support group, and I started printing some bits and pieces out and putting them in local GP, at the town hall and the library and stuff like that, and contacted Myeloma UK, but mainly just browsing the website and a bit on the forum there. But lots of people chatted with me, but nobody actually come from Wiltshire. I'd done the maths then, and it's a rare disease. And in the town where I live, 20,000 people, there's probably only 2 people, and I'm one of them. So I was on the loser putting all these things out because there was no one to read them really. But then I went for my second appointment at Bath, and I got talking to the my oncologist, and she said, we want to start one in Bath, why don't you come and work with us? And that was it. I knew then they had all the names and addresses. They couldn't give them to me, but they had all the names and addresses, and they wrote to all the 180 patients in the RUH catchment area, and a lot of them got back. We were blown over, 50 people at the first meeting. What really astounded me was the room exploded into conversation of people, patients chatting, and I thought, this is what it's about. Come on in, Chief, we can sort this stuff out for the meeting. It's not all about numbers. Some of our better meetings have been with 20 people. We have guest speakers most of the time. We've had some very good guest speakers, oncologists, psychiatrists. Tonight we've got Karen Goff. She's from Citizen Advice Bureau. She's going to tell us about benefits. It seems it's great therapy to tell your story. It's what we do, it's a story that we know, that we're able to tell, and we like doing it, and people like hearing it as well, other patients. It's a big part of being in a support group. What do we get out of hearing other people's stories is, first of all, you get information. You can learn things that they may have had a treatment that you may have to have, or it just might be interesting that you had that treatment and it didn't quite work out that way for you. There's always something to learn of somebody else. You can also get reassurance that, hey, here's this person who's had this transplant or this difficult procedure, and they look pretty okay at the moment. So reassurance is a big thing as well. Well, like the healthcare professionals in setting up the group Myeloma UK, were very important. Moral support on setting up the group sent me the information pack, which I read through, and it was a bit of a Bible for a while. It's got templates and documents about meetings and lots of information about how to do it, their experience and stuff like that. So what do I get personally out of running the group? Well, I suppose I get the same as what the people get going to the meetings. I get a sort of double dose of engaging with other patients.
People who have survived cancer that have
You've got a period where you're going to be off work for a year with a transplant and the build-up and recovering. This is a really important part of our meeting, is that we've had a great speaker tonight, but when we break here to have the tea, coffee and biscuits, we get a chance to tell stories, to share experiences and to reassure one another. And it's a really, really important part, and people actually like doing it.
Good for you.
Okay.
It takes somebody to get it started.
Right, yeah, yeah. My wife does all the work, actually.
Well, I've seen that.
Yeah, so if you're thinking of setting up a group, I would say to you, go do it. You'll enjoy it, and it's not that difficult.